Good morning, children. Welcome back. Today, we'll be continuing our topic, that is Mauryan administration. In the earlier classes, we studied about the central government, that is kings and his ministers, how they are working. Provincial administration, who are the member who is looking after what all departments and all. Today, we'll be talking about the administrative department. Okay, administrative work, it is being divided over so many departments are there. Each department had its own chief or superintendent. Means what? The head, right? Who is going to look after all the matters. Some of the important officials of the Mauryan administration were Panyadhyaksh, that is superintendent of commerce, those who are going to look after the money matters regarding the money. Then Samastyadhyaksh, that is superintendent in market. Sidadhyaksh, superintendent in agriculture. They are looking about the farming and all, how the work is being done, what all things are required and this and that. Then Puttavadhyaksh, that is superintendent of weights and measures. Okay, for taking the weight about the quantity and all, they have to measure it out. So they are going to look after about the weights and measures, etc. The city, it was administered by the council and six boards, those who are going to look after it. Ashoka also had special group of officials. They were called Dhamma Mahamatas. You have seen so many in movies also, and some serials was being made. In that they were having the officers. Now also we are having the ministers, right? The ministers are going to look after each and every matter, right? Minister is going to look after regarding the agriculture, farming, cultivation of crops, which crop is grown in which time period, this and that, like that. In that matter, finance minister is going to look after the financial matter, how the income is, from where the income can come, what expenses can be done, how we are going to implement so that the people will be getting benefits regarding all the matters, like that. These officers went around the country and listened to the complaints of the people. Earlier what the king were doing, they were dressing in simple manner like a normal people, and they were moving and going in between them, and they were asking them about the rule, about the administration to the people. Are they satisfied with the work of the king or not? These things they were asking to the people. If they were finding some problems people are facing, then they were trying to sort out that problem, right? They also persuaded people to follow the Dhamma and live peacefully. Okay, for if simple fight and all was being done, so the Dhamma Mahamatas, those who were moving, they were asking the people to live peacefully, no need of fighting. They can resolve their problems in a simple manner, right? Now, city of Patliputra. According to Megasthenes, Patliputra was a large and beautiful city. It was surrounded by strong walls, right? Houses were built of wood, but the king's palace was built of stone. The court of the Chandragupta was a splendid sight. Megasthenes was highly impressed by it. Now, here also, if you have visited some of the fort or some of the magnificent temple or historical monuments, you would have seen that it is being built. There were walls, big walls were being built so that the enemies could not attack. Not only enemies, even if the places are made near the water areas or river side, At that time also, because of the flow of the river and the waves are coming, so it is going to hit. So they were preparing the wall, big wall, so that they were being saved from enemies also, water also, and so many problems also. Now, Megasthenes was highly impressed by it. The king led a luxurious life. Definitely, he was having so many servants to do all kind of work, and he don't have to do anything. Even the dress also, they were wearing a costly like silk dresses and all ornaments of gold. They were wearing precious stones were being used like that. So the king looked after his subject well and was always ready to listen to the complaint of the people. Chandragupta maintained a large army and a large part of taxes was spent on it. They were taking care that people should not face any kind of problem, and if they are having any problem, then they were trying to solve it. He was doing so many things for the betterment of the people. So people were also happy with their king. Right. A council of 30 members, which was divided into 6 committees of 5 members, ruled Patliputra. Okay. Now you can imagine 30 members were there. It was divided up to 6 committees. Right. Means in every committee there were 5 members. First committee, what they were doing? They were looking after industries concerned with the art. Okay, painting, drawing, or something like that. Preparing some kind of materials, ornaments. Second, looked after foreigners, those who were coming from the other places. Okay, what they came for trade or these and that like that. Third, kept record of birth and death. Now also we are having birth certificate, death certificate we are maintaining, na? According to that only the population can be known of the people, that how many people in this year or earlier they died or they had taken birth. Fourth was a committee. It was regulated trade and measures. Fifth looked after sales of goods. Okay, how much production is being done in all the things, and how much sale is being done. What means, what are the sources of income and how much income was being done in a particular year in different sale of not only crops and all, but other materials like pot, jewelry, then ornaments, equipments like that. And the sixth group was there. They were collecting taxes from the people. Right, whatever they were preparing, the tax was being collected by them in cash or in kind. Kind means what? They were giving whatever they were producing. Okay. Then comes society. Society was divided into 4 varnas. Now also we are having, as mentioned in the Arthashastra. The edict of Ashoka also indicates the presence of caste system. The Brahmins commanded great respect in society, as always. Brahmins are being treated as a superior person, right? They did not pay taxes to the king. Brahmins were not asked to pay the taxes. Agriculture, definitely in every places in the earlier time, agriculture was the main occupation, and the farmer had to pay both tax on land as well as water for irrigation, because farmer not only require the land, they require water also. Water supply, if the water supply is good, then definitely the production will be good. So they have to pay the tax for land, then they have to pay the tax for water supply. After that, when production is being done, at that time also they have to give some part, 1/6 part of that production to the king. Right. There were herdsmen, shepherds. They were also living in the villages. Beside them, weaver, blacksmith, potters and carpenters lived in the villages and town, both inland as well as foreign. trade flourished in the places, right? Trade was being carried out from other countries also. Money was used in trade as well as for paying salaries also to the people, those who were working for the king or for the, like ministers, so many ministers were there, so they were being given salary. And so many punch marked coins have been found from various part of Mughal Mauryan Empire. Okay, punch marked coins, see here, you are going to see the pictures here. See rabbit, then animal, sun, elephant, then other symbol is there. Like this kind of punch marked coin was being made from different kind of kings and all. According to their rule, they were making these and they were using these all coins. Then how the Mauryan Empire began to decline, how it came to an end. Now, what happened? First of all, Ashoka was a great, right? It is being told Ashoka the Great. Why? Because his empire, the extent of his empire was so broad. And he fought, but after fighting the battle of Kalinga, Ashoka, after seeing so many bloodshed, he stopped fighting and he asked people also to stay in peace and don't have to fight for any matter, right? Fight or killing person is not the aim and it is not the purpose of the people. We should live in peace, be with the people with love, take care of the people. That was the thought of Ashoka. So it was, the edict was also being mentioned, so many things. Now, what is the reason? After the death of Ashoka, the Mauryan Empire began to disintegrate. Okay, slowly. There were so many reasons for the fall of the Mauryan Empire. First one is the successor of Ashoka were weak. Means what? After Ashoka, his son, again the grandson, again the great grandson, like that. So they were not so much capable. Already Ashoka has done so many things. Their son and their grandchildren has to just take care of these all things. But as they were weak, they were not able to hold such a vast empire. Okay, they were not able to hold it out. Slowly, it was being divided. The various region of the empire were cut off from one another by great distance. Okay, whatever area he has joined in his kingdom, slowly that all area were being cut off from one another. Later Mauryan kings could not collect enough tax to maintain a large army. Already Ashoka, he was having a large army. Because of that army only, he was able to fight so many wars and he won also. But the successor, they were not capable enough so to collect the taxes from the people, because they were not giving the benefits also to the people. So they were not able to maintain the large army. So army also was being decreased. Amount, whatever large army, it has become shortened and all, and so many people left it out, like that. The governors of various provinces, means what? Ashoka, in the this only we have read that so many committees were there and ministers were there, those who were looking after these different matters. Now the governor, those who were looking to particular area, particular province means particular kingdom area, was being given to them to look after, just to take care. Okay, collect taxes, whatever problem they were having, they have to report to the king. But the governor, what they had done, when Ashoka died, they had taken advantage of the weakness of Ashoka's successor. The grandchildren were there, so they had taken benefit of that and they declared themselves independence. Means what? The governor who was taking care of the particular area, that area was under his control now, right? So he became the king of that particular area. Ashoka died around 232 BCE. his successor were not able to were not the able rulers. Okay, they were not able to rule. The province started breaking away. Around 205 BCE, Bactrian rulers invaded India, they came to India and established their rule in some part, right? Not all the part, but some part they came and they ruled. 20 years later, in 185 BCE, then came the Pushyamitra Shunga. Okay, he was the commander in chief of the army, right? He was the commander, chief commander of the army. And what he has done? He killed the last Mauryan king. He was Brihadratha, and he founded, means after the death of Brihadratha, the Mauryan Empire ended. Then he established and founded the Shunga dynasty, right? Mauryan Empire came to an end. Then when Pushyamitra Shunga, he killed Brihadratha, and Brihadratha was last Mauryan king. Now after his death, the new dynasty came, that was the Shunga dynasty, right? Now this way you can say the end of the Mauryan period was there, but he was a great warrior and he has fought bravely. His life is going to teach us so many things we are able to learn from Ashoka's life, right? Because he has joined Buddhism. He propagated Buddhism not only in India but in other country also. He sent his children also to other countries so that they can spread Dhamma. And he has written, inscribed his edict in rock, pillar, right? Stone slab like that, so that people can understand and follow the rules, basic things, that not to kill the animal, not to kill the people, not not to harm anyone. So that are the main things which we have learned from Ashoka's life and in this chapter. Okay, now thank you children. Hope you would have understood the chapter. Write the answers in the copies properly. Thank you children.